In the third module, first we discuss the basics of the embedded system. So if you want to going to start any topic, always you start from the scratch. Scratch means what is the thing, how to define it. Next, if you want to compare, you want to compare with the other. That is called as a comparison of our embedded system with the normal computer. So first, before going to go in the next topic, first we'll going to discuss its definition here. So first, what is embedded system here? It is very important to understand what is embedded system here. So by seeing this word, system means it is having some units in this. So by combined together, it's called as a system here. Say for example, you can say it as a computer system. Nothing but it has the different parts there. It has like CPU, it has monitor, it has hardware parts also, it has the software also. So by combining both together, it is called as a system here. The same here also. First, you should know what is embedded system here. So they are given here an electromechanical system which is designed to perform a specific function. So this is very important to understand specific function and is combination of both hardware and the software here. It also called as a firmware. Firmware is nothing but it is another word of the software here. So by this you got to understand it is a electromechanical, nothing but it has the both electrical elements plus the mechanical elements designed to perform specific function. Keep it in mind, I'm using the word as specific means it's only meant for the that only one specific job, and it has both hardware and the software here. So that is called as a embedded system. But how you define the computer? Computer is an electronic device which can use to perform the multiple operations here. But when it comes to embedded system, they are using a word as a specific function. Means if we design one system, it works only for the one purpose only. That is called as a specific function here, and is combined together hardware and the software. So for example, electronic toys, it's an example of the embedded system here. Then mobiles, then washing machine, air conditioner. So example, like we have a lot of applications nowadays are all are built on the theory of the embedded system only. So if we take this example, washing machine, so it has meant for only one specific job, nothing but to clean the clothes. Other than that, it doesn't do any work here. That is called as a embedded system here. Is that clear all of it? I hope the definition is clear by all. And the micro oven, it also example of the embedded system. Then AC, then your mobile handsets. Nowadays, what we are using smartphones are all on the theory of the embedded systems only. So they are designed by using the embedded systems only. Next, nowadays we are using lot of toys which are work automatically. That's called as a electronic toys. So those also come from the embedded system only because it has mechanical part also, it has the electrical part also, and it has the specific job. Suppose if you take a toy which want to always smile, so it do only smile only. It doesn't do the other activities. That is called as an embedded system here. Is that clear? Okay, so once you understand that, then so they are given some basic ideas here. So the systems are unique in character and the beer, of course, because we are focusing only on the it perform the a specific function means by default they are unique in character and behavior. Suppose if you want to compare the washing machine and the air conditioner, so both are having the different properties only because ACs want to use like give the I mean cold air, and washing machine used to clean the clothes. By default, they are unique in character and the behavior here. And second one is they can have the specialized hardware and the software, because for washing machine we have to use the different mechanical parts, and for AC we have to use the different mechanical parts. So depend upon the hardware we have to use the software there. For washing machine we have to use software which is going to wash your clothes, and for AC we have to use the software should control the room temperature here. So like it has the unique character and the behavior. That is the first point. Second point is we can have the specialized hardware and the software for the different devices which are come from the embedded systems here. So next, just we are comparing our normal computers with the embedded, and this topic is important for the exam point of view also, because sometimes they ask difference between the normal computers and the embedded system here. So we'll see some differences here. I think they are listed around 6 to 7 differences. So we'll take one by one here. In first column, I'm having the normal computers, and second column we are having the embedded system. So just we'll see the differences between the normal and the embedded systems here. Okay, the first point, system which is combination of generic hardware and the general purpose operating system here. Of course, in computer we have the like generic hardware means for 10 computers we can use the same devices. We have the same CPU, like we have the same monitor, we have the same OS also. We can use the same OS for the 10 computers. But when it comes to embedded system, it is not like that. If you're having the 10 different devices, you have to use the specific hardware and software for the each device here. That is the difference between your normal computer and the embedded system here. And second point is, so it contains GPOS. GPOS means general purpose operating system. Nothing but, so whatever we are right now we are using like Windows 7, I mean Windows 8, then Mac, then Linux. So all are called as a GPOS because they do the multiple tasks which are called as a general here. But when it comes to embedded, they have the specific OS for the specific machine here. Like for AC, we have to use the different software or different OS, and for the oven, we have to use the different OS here. That's why it is depend on the which device you are using. Where in the second embedded system, but in first it is called as a GPOS. That is nothing but as general purpose operating system here. And third point, applications are alterable by the user. Of course, suppose if we write a program, so we can modify the program in our computers. But when it comes to embedded system, it is not possible because already the programs are pre-loaded here. We can't change the programs in our embedded system. Say for example, if you take example of AC, so already we have the multiple options there only. We can't change, but we can manage the settings here. But we can't change the main core programs of the AC here. Same way if you have the micro oven, so they are giving some options like for cooking the different items, but we can't add the new one here. Yes or no? That is called as a, we are unable to change the program which are already written in the embedded system. But when it comes to computer, we can modify the programs and we can do the new things here. But in embedded, it is not possible. It is already pre-programmed here. That is the given here. The firmware, nothing but the software of the embedded system is pre-programmed. It is non-altered by the end user. Nothing but if I am the user, I can't change the program in the embedded system. But when you come to computer, Easily we can change the programs here. So the fourth difference is the performance of is the key deciding factor on the selection of system here. So when you compare these two, this is much faster compared to the this one here. Why? Because it having only one task, so it do the task very faster here. But when you come to normal computers, so we do the multitasking here. That's why it is little bit slower than the embedded system here. So they give the same thing only here. The application specific requirements, like it has very good performance, it consumes less power, and it consumes the less memory also, because we have only the specific task here. Next, when you come to next point, so in this point, so they are focusing on the power management here. Nothing but for computers we need the more power, but for embedded system we need the less power, because it has only one function, it has only less memory. So that's why it needs the less power, and always they focus on the power management here. But here in the computers we don't do that much research on the power management here. Other than this, we think of other properties here. But in this one, the maximum tailored means they do the modifications. They are using what tailored. What the tailor means? Tailor means if you give a cloth, they stitch it in a like shirt or pant. It is called as a tailor. Tailored means it's like an we do some modifications. That is called as a tailored here. And always they think of saving the power, that is in terms of hardware or in terms of the software also. And next one is sorry ah, so response requirements are not time critical. So in this is the meaning nothing but, suppose if you take example, I want to do one task, it takes 10 minutes. Suppose it is taking 11 to 12 minutes also, it is okay in the normal computers. But when you come to embedded system, it is not like that. If you want to do the task within 10 minutes, it has to be completed within the 10 minutes here. It doesn't take the extra time here. That is called as a critical time. That is nothing but as here we can change the time also. Nothing but if it's taking more than our fixed time, is it okay in our normal computers? But when you come to embedded, it is not like that. It should be completed within the given time here. That is called as a embedded system here. So they are given here for certain category of embedded system like mission critical system. The response time is highly critical here. Nothing but it has to be completed within the that given time only. It does not take extra time after the fixed time. That is, it's very important to know here in the embedded system here. So if you know these five differences, it's enough here. So this is the comparison of the normal computers and the embedded computers here. So next we'll move. Yeah. So next we'll move for the a very important topic called as how to classify the embedded systems here, because we have a lot of like systems in the market which are done on the or which are built on the embedded system here. So to do the classification, they have some categories here. Those are, the first one is based on generation, second is based on complexity and the performance requirement here, and third one is based on the behavior, fourth is the based on triggering here. So in these four, so these two are for our syllabus here, first and the second one. What is the first one? So based on generation, second is the based on complexity and the performance requirement here, and third, fourth we don't have for our syllabus, so just you have to think of first and second category here. Okay, is it clear? So if you have any issues in this, then please let me know. Then we'll go for the classifications here. So any doubts in this comparison or the differences between the normal computer system and the embedded system? Please anyone reply to this? Hello? So if you understand the topic, then we'll move for the its classification. So in classification, as I told you, we have the four categories. The first one is the based on generation. Second is the based on how much it complex program it is, and what is the performance requirement here. And third one is based on its behavior, and fourth is the based on triggering here. So first we'll move for the first classification is based on the generation here. So generation means normally in computer also we have the four generation, that is first generation, second generation, third and the fourth. So nowadays what we are using all the systems, those are from the fourth generation here. The same way here also we have the four generations here. That is the first is 1G, second is the second generation, third is the third generation, next is the fourth generations here. So how they classified means depend upon the its like working function or the its hardware and the software here. So depend upon those 2 points, those two factors, we are classifying the embedded system depend on the its generations here. So first we'll go for the first generation here. So the early systems built around the 8-bit. I think all of you know what is 8-bit means. It's only the 1 byte here. So the systems which are having the only 8-bit, so those are called as a first generation embedded systems here. For example, stepper motors and the digital telephone keypads here. So now, I mean, before these smartphones, we have the other phones which are called as a like color phones. So there we have the keypads. So that keypad is called as a digital telephone keypads. So those are come from the first generation here because they are built by the 8-bit microprocessor here. Those are called as a first generation embedded systems here. Second is, so next what we done means we just enhance its features here, nothing but we just increase the its capacity, nothing but it become from 8-bit to 16-bit. So those are called as a second generation embedded systems here. So in this we can use the 16 also, we can use the 8 also. Both is possible in the second generation here. Is that clear? We can use 8 bits also, we can use the 16 bit also. So that is called as a second generation embedded systems here. So to build this is the base for it. Nothing but by taking the help of the 1G only, we are going to build the devices in the second generation here. That is nothing but it is the basic for the second generation here. Without the 1G, we can't go for the second generation here.